Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Havoc Academy League. I'm your host, HVC Luke, and we got a fantastic night ahead of us. Tonight, we have a doubleheader here for Academy. Instead of us doing week 6 and 7 independently, we're doing a double header. So we're going to see every single team tonight. We are going to be seeing them play twice. Once on not this stream and once on the alternate stream. So be sure to check in and watch all our fantastic matches tonight. If you guys want to watch on the B stream, you can do !Discord, and then in our Discord there's a link to the B stream. Or if you just want to type it in yourself, twitch.tv/Azriel, I believe is the name, I believe is the Twitch link. And then of course, all the matches here will be fantastic as well. Welcome everybody if you're on Twitch or YouTube. And if you're on Twitch and if you want to follow our YouTube, we're going to be continuing to post newer videos throughout the next couple of weeks. So be sure to !YouTube and subscribe to us there. And yeah, so twitch.tv/AzrielHV. That's the link for the B stream, and then hopefully in between matches I'll be able to get a command link in there for y'all, so you don't have to type it in on your own. But just one special announcement here, everybody, before we get into the matches tonight. Us at Havoc Esports have partnered with a tournament running business in regards to Gorilla.gg. We are now powered by Gorilla.gg. We are still updating all our graphics and everything like that, but over the next couple of weeks, you'll be seeing a lot more Gorilla, and even more importantly, on March 5th, we are going to be hosting a Havoc 1v1 public tournament. So even if you aren't in Havoc Esports or the Havoc League, you'll be able to sign up for free on Gorilla.gg, the Havoc Esports $100 1v1 tournament. And even if you don't win, it's some great experience, and even second place still gets $30 as well. So be sure to tune in and join our Discord or follow us on Twitter, where you'll be able to find the link to our tournament. But without further ado, we've been waiting long enough. Let's get into the first match of the night here between Havoc Purple and Cypher Black. It should be a fantastic match here between these two teams, and I can't wait to see who will end up getting the win here. But here we go, folks. On to the first match of the night. Let's see how it goes. Looks like we do have a couple people here already in the chat, and Chili, right off the bat, is going to be scoring the first goal. One of the youngest players in Academy. I believe he's sitting around 14, 15, around that age. One of the youngest players in Academy, and sometimes you can see that age kind of affect him in regards to his nerves, but overall, he's been improving throughout the season, and he's starting to really show up in the important matches. Looks like we do have some new people in chat. Welcome, Caleb. I think I've seen you both on the Twitch and the YouTube chat. So welcome here to the stream. But here we go, folks. Havoc Purple on the board first. Now, at the beginning of the season, everyone would probably say Havoc Purple is the favorites. I mean, by far, Havoc Purple, they have mechanics, they have experience, they have all the above for the most part. Whereas Cypher Black, they're a consistent team, but no one's expecting them to necessarily be anywhere even near the top 4 and when it comes to Cypher Black. But Cypher Black have had some fantastic upset wins. They managed to beat some teams that no one expected them to win, and they're continuing to try and push on and try and be one of the few bottom teams to consistently make the playoffs. Welcome everyone to the chat. Looks like we have some new members here. Matthias Max, or sorry, not a new member, but somebody chatting in as well. Welcome Matthias Maximus to the chat. But Dr. Papa is going to be scoring first and tie up the game between these two teams. Either way, this series should be an interesting one, especially with both these teams near elimination from the playoffs. But everyone, welcome. And yes, Caleb, I can see your chat. Welcome to the channel. And it looks like you'll be playing for Havoc or Orange tonight, so that should be all fun. But that'll, of course, be later. Because right now, we have Cypher Black and Havoc Purple looking to try and put on a show for all of us. And now we're going to be looking to see who will end up getting the win between these two teams. Currently, right now, Cypher Black are actually out of the bottom 2 spots right now. They have 2 wins and 3 losses, whereas Havoc Purple are tied with 2 other teams at 1 and 4. If Havoc Purple want to try and make the playoffs again, they're going to have to win at least one of their matches tonight, and I believe actually, looking at it, they have to win one of their matches tonight and then hope Havoc Orange and Slothhounds both lose at least one of their matches tonight, which is going to be a very big task ahead of them. So let's see if Havoc Purple throughout the night are going to be able to do that. And then on the main stream, oh my goodness, Judo Cat, the captain, puts that one in. I managed to say a very nice line early last week when commentating him. He's the captain of the team and had to combine in a little bit of poetry. There's a poem, "Oh Captain, My Captain." Of course, we all enjoy a little bit of poetry here and then. And I was able to say a full-on commentator line with it, so I was a little proud of that one. But starting off game 1, Cypher Black got scored on first, but have not been scored on since, bringing it to a 1-goal lead for them. And everybody, if you go to twitch.tv/AzrielHV, currently Smoking Guns Gaming versus Havoc Teal is on that stream. And I can't wait to see who will end up getting the win on that one. So we do have, Havoc White is, oh, there we go. Chili's going to put another one in the back of the net. Tied game for Havoc Purple now. But on a special note here, looking at the schedule tonight, so Havoc White did sadly have to request the last 2 time slots for the doubleheader tonight. So Havoc Purple were forced to play 2 in a row. Luckily, Havoc White and Havoc Purple aren't expected to win in either of their matches. So even though Havoc Purple does get a little bit a warm up straight into their next match, Havoc White as well, it shouldn't harm them. It shouldn't harm them too much. But here we go, Chili getting the hat trick for Havoc Purple here, and they're trying to see if they can take game number 1. Now, I know some teams are going to are using subs today, at least for one match. I believe Havoc Orange have to use a sub for their match as well. Either way, it should be a good and fun time. But here we go. Ball gets popped over to Sagi Miyagi. Ends up missing that one. And X-Tac will send that ball to the midfield. Judo Cat with the follow-up. It's going to be back over to Chili. Chili to Dr. Papa. Dr. Papa now down into the middle. Over to Sagi Miyagi. And Sagi Miyagi clears the ball down the field. Judo Cat trying to maintain possession. Going to be looking to try and apply some pressure on the other team late here in the game. And there we go. Oh my goodness, Chili saves it away. Not only does he get the save, but he puts it in a spot where no follow-up from Cypher Black will come. And look, Sagi Miyagi trying to flick that ball up the field, trying to just get the ball on the other half, see if they can apply some pressure. Hunter, a chum, looking for the pass out mid, gets a stop in the corner, but can he get the ball to a teammate? With that miss, he's not able to, but a pinch from Sagi Miyagi, and the other team will go straight into the back of Cypher Black's net. And Havoc Purple going to be definitely happy about getting that goal in the back of the net. And now we're seeing once again a 2-goal lead in the final minute for Havoc Purple. And everybody, just to let you all know the schedule for the next upcoming weeks. Of course, today we have week 6 and 7 of Split 2, which will be a double header. Next week, Friday, we have the Split 2 playoffs, so the top 6 teams from Split 2 will participate to see who will get points. And then, Sunday next week, we'll be having the Split 2 main league tiebreaker. As a matter of fact, there are 4 teams right now that are tied, and there's only one more spot for championships right now. So those 4 teams will be playing next Sunday at 8 p.m. EST to determine which one will get the final spot for championships. The other 3 that lose will have to play in the last chance qualifier, which will be taking place the Saturday after that. So, a lot of playoff matches here over the next couple of weeks. This is actually going to be the only day over the next few weeks that will be a non-playoff match. This is just a doubleheader. This is week 6 and 7 of Academy. But right now, Havoc Purple are going to be looking to try and take this series into a lead. And it looks like once the ball touches the ground, that will be a case. Havoc Purple putting a win on the board first. Now, luckily for Cypher Black, they have 2 chances to clinch the Split 2 playoffs. They either have to win this match or they have to win their next match. Now, looking at their schedule, this would technically be their easiest match. Cypher Black actually have a good opportunity right now because they're 2-3 and they're playing two 1-4 teams. So Cypher Black could potentially knock these 1-4 teams even further down in the standings for Academy. So it's definitely going to be exciting here over the next couple of days. But hopefully going into the next match here, we'll see Cypher Black try to put on a show, because otherwise Havoc Purple are literally playing for their season lives, because if they don't make the Split 2 playoffs, there's a good chance that they don't make the end of the season playoffs as well. But we're now going to be going on to Beckwith Park Stormy here between these two teams. Let's see which team has what it takes to win in game number 2. Will Havoc Purple bring it to match point, or will Cypher Black do what they do every single week and start the comeback in game 2? Here we go, folks. Sagi Miyagi right off the kickoff, trying to get it past the entire team. Chum almost getting a shot on target. Will end up leaving it for Chili. Chili with the hat trick in the previous game, bringing his team to their first win. And I was in the call with both these teams before, and Havoc Purple are feeling really confident today, to the point where they believe that after they beat Cypher Black, they believe that they're going to beat Havoc Pink as well to clinch the Split 2 playoffs. Now, if they can beat the current one of the undefeated teams right now, that would be insane. Of course, Havoc Pink technically do have a loss in Split 2, but it was only due to a forfeit. Whenever Havoc Pink have shown up this season, they have not lost. And I mean the entire season. Split 1 and Split 2, they've only had one forfeit loss. And every single other game after that, they have won. But here we go. Minute off the clock. Havoc Purple trying to continue to apply some pressure here in the offensive half. Dr. Papa Kush will be looking to try and get this ball out to the midfield line, but yet not able to do so. A miss from Chili will allow them to clear the zone, and Judo Cat will be looking to try and put a pass out mid to Dr. Papa Kush, but it's not going to be anywhere near the net so far, and Havoc Purple in a good standing try and win this series, at least so far. X-Tac will pop that ball forward. Now over to the corner. Taking place here by Chum. Chum over to X-Tac. X-Tac to Judo Cat. That's going to be an empty net opportunity there for Chili. He's not able to put the shot on target. Doesn't even flip into the back of the ball, but Sagi Miyagi will slot that one in. And Havoc Purple have taken the lead once again in this series. Havoc Purple did score first in the last game, and then Cypher Black came back to take the lead, and then Havoc Purple took the lead from then on, and have since been in the lead even now in game number 2. Lost kickoff there. We'll go straight back to Chum, and honestly, in threes, you would probably call that a win. I mean, you gain possession. Isn't that what winning a kickoff means? Gaining possession, and Chili, it's popping that ball to the side to Chum. Chum trying to maintain possession, but Judo Cat's not going to be able to get there. Sagi Miyagi, though, almost gets dunked on his goal line, and it's going to be up to Judo Cat, who's now going to be looking for a pop out to the net. Can he get the dunk? Not able to do so. And here comes Chili, looking to set up a counterattack for his team. Passes the ball high into the air. Chum looking for the dunk, and Chili will try and get the possession. Chili looking for the solo play. Gets the 50 out to the corner, and Judo Cat sends the ball down the pitch. And it's now up to Chum to get a good touch. He ends up getting a very poor touch, setting it up for Cypher Black. And Cypher Black, just as in game 1, have tied it up 1-1. And if this game is anything like the last one, you would now expect Cypher Black to try and take the lead once again. It's been an interesting turn of events here in both of these games. But does Havoc Purple have what it takes to continually keep driving up the scoreline? That's normally something that teams have an issue with, in terms of after they win a game, they tend to find it even harder to score. They kind of try to force a lot more goals rather than trying to create opportunities. But here comes Chum. Chum to the side wall. We'll be back over now to Sagi Miyagi. Chili now trying to maintain possession. Ends up leaving it for Sagi Miyagi. He's trying to get a pass off the backboard. and no one on his team's able to follow. Chili finds himself awkward, and Chum will just try to keep the ball on the offensive end, but a great touch from Dr. Papa will keep this ball on the offensive end, and another great 50 will do so as well, leaving it for Judo Cat, who tried to get the pass out mid, and X-Tac will now be the one tasked to try and keep possession and get this ball onto the offensive half, and he won't do so, as Chili, with another fantastic dunk, looking to keep the zone, and this time, Dr. Papa Kush will finally get it past the entire team, but not fast enough, as now Cypher Black continuing to be stuck on their own half, an own goal almost there from Havoc, from Cypher Black, and now it'll be over to Judo Cat to try and get this ball down the field. Sagi Miyagi launches the ball towards the net, and he will get the goal. Unlike last time, we'll be seeing no lead from Cypher Black as Havoc Purple continue to apply the pressure. Let's see if these teams can continue to show up here when it matters most. And right now, Havoc Purple are actually showing up for what seems like the first time in Academy history. Because Havoc Purple, they've honestly not had the best couple of seasons. They've looked solid in like one series, maybe per split, but this is the first time that we've really seen them look good. Let's see if they can continue with this streak and continue on for Havoc Purple's first sweep. I believe Havoc Purple have only had one sweep ever this season, and it was back all the way at the beginning of split 1. And right now, we're seeing them look to try and do it against one of the teams that are looking to clinch the playoffs. So far, Havoc Purple yet to fully clinch this game 2 win. They're going to look to try and run down the clock. And here we go. Havoc Purple looking to maybe solidify this as a game win, but with 10 seconds left, Judo Cat breaks it past the entire defense, passing the ball mid, and a great dunk from Chili will open up some space, and Dr. Papa Kush sends the ball down the pitch, and it looks like Havoc Purple will now be on match point after only 2 games. This is what we like to see here, folks, as Havoc Purple looking to try and play spoiler for Cypher Black. Cypher Black did actually have a great split last season compared to their expectations. And now we're seeing them try to, in a spot where they could fight and prove themselves. And right now, Havoc Purple forcing Cypher Black to have to reverse sweep if they want to try and clinch the playoffs here in this series. Excuse me. But here we go. Now going on to Sovereign Heights between these two teams. Will Cypher Black have what it takes to start their reverse sweep? Because normally Cypher Black, when they are playing against a more mechanical team, normally what they're able to do is they're able to consistently try and come back in that game 2. But this time, Havoc Purple actually open up the score, the series score to 2-0, which is something we don't normally see Cypher Black in. Last time we saw them in this position, they did end up losing. But now behind the air. Popping the ball over now to Sagi Miyagi. Sagi Miyagi at the backboard to Chili. Chili to Dr. Papa Kush, and Chum will end up putting that ball into the back of the net, and Havoc Purple once again have opened up the scoring in all 3 games so far. And only in 1 game has Cypher Black come back and actually taken the lead, and they still end up losing that game. So let's see if Havoc Purple has what it takes to finish out in 3, because right now they're playing with extreme confidence. And that's one thing we do have to keep in mind here with Cypher Black, is Cypher Black, they were in a really good standing, and they're playing against 2 teams that are 1-4, 2 teams at the very bottom of the standings. And if Havoc Purple wins this, they do tie Cypher Black in series score. Now, Havoc Purple still have to win another match tonight to clinch the playoffs, because they are currently -9 in game differential. But if they win this in a sweep, it'll be -6, and then all they have to do is try to keep it just that little bit closer. And even if they aren't able to beat Havoc Pink, if they can just take a game or 2 off of Havoc Pink in the next series, that might put them in a spot where they could steal Cypher Black's position in the playoffs, as Slothhounds could potentially beat them. And right now, Chili puts it in the back of the net. Havoc Purple looking fantastic at this moment in time. They're now up by 2 goals after 3 games. In game number 3, excuse me. Back over now to Sagi Miyagi. Ends up getting the ball around 1. Now it's going to be over to X-Tac, who's trying to maintain possession and see if he can get the ball over to a teammate to clear the field, but he ends up giving it right to the other team. A miss from Sagi Miyagi might open up some opportunities here for Cypher Black, and a pass mid from Judo Cat almost gets a shooting opportunity, but Havoc Purple, they've been improving throughout the entire split, slowly but surely, and finally we're starting to see them at what we've been expecting all season. At the beginning of the season, we expected them to be top 4 minimum, and yet we've seen them at the bottom of both standings, split 1 and split 2. Now, we're seeing them at the end of Split 2, finally showing what we've been expecting to see all season. It's honestly a fantastic thing to see. Ball will get pumped out mid to X-Tac. X-Tac over to Chili. Chili ends up missing a first touch, and it might allow X-Tac to try and get a goal here. 2-on-1 from Cypher Black, and they can't find the net. Ball back over to Chum. Chum to Chili. Chili looking for a pass back mid. Actually, it's on an empty net, and Chili finds another goal. This kid has stepped up all series long so far, and this might honestly be the best series we've seen from Chili ever, to be honest. We've seen pop-off games, sure, but normally we see him pop off for maybe one game, and it's normally just on offense or just on defense. Right now, on offense, defense, everywhere on the pitch, for all 3 games, we have not seen Chili not on the board. And now Cypher Black, they will get a good touch and a little bit of help from a pool shot. That ball will find itself into the back of the net as Dr. Papa Kush will find that one, and we're back within 1 or 2. Hold on. Still trying to wake up here. Yeah, 2-goal deficit from Havoc Purple. Does Havoc Purple have what it takes to try and win this series here in a sweep? Half the game now to go. And we're starting to see Havoc Purple miss after that first goal's gone in. And this is normally where Cypher Black thrive. When another team doesn't play their game, Cypher Black start to be able to come back. But is it too late? Cypher Black have had a lot of late game comebacks that end up not being wins. And part of that's due to the fact that the other team normally scores 3 to 4 goals before Cypher Black can even come back. Yes, Caleb, Havoc Orange is, I know Havoc Orange is forfeiting their first match, but Havoc Orange is playing their second match. But here's Sagi Miyagi. Ball back over to Chili. Chili now back over to the side. To the backboard. Back over now here to X-Tac. X-Tac trying to maintain possession. Over now to Chum. Chum not able to get to the ball. And we'll be back over to Chili. Chili looking for the long shot. Taken away. Judo Cat not able to find the touch, though. We'll be back over to X-Tac. X-Tac trying to maintain possession here. Looking for the follow-up. We'll be back over now to Chili. Chili ends up getting 50'd. And Judo Cat looking for the read. Can't get it. And a 50 from Havoc Purple will keep this ball on the offensive end. Ball back over now to Chili. Chili. Looking for the shot. We'll be back over now to Chum. Chum off the backboard. We followed up now here by Dr. Papa Kush, but he ends up getting out 50 by Sagi Miyagi. Ball kept on the offensive end. Sagi Miyagi looking for the center. Gets the center mid, but a double commit from Havoc Purple might allow Cypher Black for a counterattack in the final minute. They end up just sending the ball down the pitch, though. Sagi Miyagi sends it right back. And we're seeing a little bit of ping pong here in the final minute as Cypher Black look to try and bring it within 1. And they succeed in doing so. Back within 1. 50 seconds to go. Can Havoc Purple maintain the lead? This will be an interesting 50 seconds here for Havoc Purple, as they're looking to try and complete the sweep. Cypher Black trying to start the reverse sweep. And they can't do that until they win this game, and they still have to score a goal to tie it. Ball back to Chili, looking for a center mid. To himself, looking for the shot, ends up being wide. Now off the corner. Ball up from Chili. He's not able to get there. We back to Dr. Papa. Now up to Chili. Chili trying to maintain possession. Back over to Chum. Chum can't get the touch he wants. And we'll be back over to Chili now. Chili gets the touch, but it's not what he wants. Dr. Papa Kush sends the ball over to Chum. Chum not able to get the touch that he wants, and it will be popped out to the backboard. Back over to Sagi Miyagi, and we're back over to the side wall, and Dr. Papa Kush will not be able to get the touch. Chum to the corner. Now back over to X-Tac. X-Tac trying to pop that ball forward. To be back over to Dr. Papa Kush. Can they keep the ball in the air? The ball's held in the air, and Havoc Purple complete the sweep, and they will be looking very, very confident for their next series here. And Havoc Purple will actually be playing on the B stream right now, actually. There, so make sure to check out twitch.tv/AzrielHV. That will be coming up right next, where Havoc Purple will be playing against, who will they be playing? Havoc Purple will be playing against Havoc Pink. So the current undefeated throughout the entire season, except for the one forfeit team, will now be playing against Havoc Purple. And then up next was supposed to be Slothhounds versus Havoc Orange, but it looks like that will not be happening right now, as Havoc Orange will have to forfeit their first match. So Slothhounds getting a win, meaning that Cypher Black which means that whichever team between Slothhounds and Cypher Black win at 940 will be the team that clinches the playoffs, and that will be a fantastic match if I've ever seen it. But that is, of course, till later. So folks, thank you guys so much for showing up here to our first match of the night. And when we come back, we'll be seeing when we come back here at 9:40, we'll be seeing Havoc White versus Havoc Teal. So be sure to get prepared, get something to eat, go to the restroom or whatever. And when we come back, we'll be starting with that match. See you guys all in a bit. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Havoc Main League. I'm your host, Havoc Academy League. I'm your host, HVC Luke, and we got another fantastic match ahead of us. We have Havoc Teal versus Havoc White, the two new teams in Split 2, and that match will be happening right now. Sadly, of course, we did have the forfeit. Havoc Orange ended up forfeiting their first match against Slothhounds, but this puts us in a very weird predicament between the bottom four teams that are trying to make the Split 2 playoffs. So while we're waiting for Havoc White to join into the lobby, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an insight on what the standings are currently looking at right now. Smoking Guns Gaming have lost their first series this split, and they've done it to one of the new teams. Havoc Teal have not only beaten Smoking Guns, but they have taken first seed. And right now we're going to see Havoc Teal playing against another one of the new teams. And if they win, Havoc Teal will have clinched the first seed no matter what happens, as long as Havoc Teal win. And Havoc White, they're going to be playing right now. They're going to be on this match right now. And then their fourth match will be on the B stream for Havoc White. But here's the interesting stuff right now. Havoc White, they're right now trying to avoid being 2-5 right now. So if Havoc White win one of their next two matches, they will qualify for the Split 2 playoffs. And then, looking at the standings right now, Cypher Black are currently 2-4. Slothhounds are currently 2-4. Havoc Purple are 2-5. And Havoc Orange are 1-5. And then, of course, Havoc White is 2-3. All these teams could end up near... 4 of these teams could end up 2-5, meaning it's all down to game differential. And looking at the standings right now, if Slothhounds manage to sweep Cypher Black, we could see a tiebreaker match between Havoc Purple and Cypher Black to see who will end up making the Split 2 playoffs, which is a very important stepping stone for all these teams. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we've been taking enough time. We've been waiting a long time for this third match to start. And I think we're ready to go. Let's get the players in the lobby and let's get started. Everybody in the chat, get up, get loud, cheer on for whoever you guys want to win this series. And make sure to spam and chat your favorite team. I can't wait to see how this is going to go. And I've been in the call with these two teams here right before this. And I got a little bit of an exciting story. Apparently, Coast, in between their first and this match, ended up having a college match, which he ended up winning. So congrats to him. And then Nathan's girlfriend ended up getting stuck in what I assume is the snow outside, and that's why we had a little bit of a delay. And he didn't say it needed to be private or anything like that. But so honestly, I find it funny. We had 2 delays, and yet we're still able to start somewhat on time. Only 5 minutes late, which, in my opinion, really good run. There we go. We got some Team White cheers on in the chat from Rebel, and we got Wolfie Slayer saying cheering on Havoc White. So Havoc White looking like the favorites right now. I guess now that Havoc Teal have only lost one series this entire season, I mean, you gotta say, I mean, at that point in time, you gotta be like, okay, well, maybe they're the real deal. Maybe Havoc Teal are the best team. And of course, what fun is there in cheering on the best team? In my opinion, though, cheering on a team like Gen G is like the only team, like they're first, like the clear best team, and yet and then they're like the only team I can actually like cheer for, right? Like imagine Gen G picks up Chronic, who I've seen in the Rocket League scene for such a long time, and then they win the first major, and then they make the other two majors. They make a million grand finals. If Gen G end up winning the world championship, like I would be rooting them on. Like it would be the greatest like storyline ever. Oh, looks like we do have somebody against Havoc White, and who else but the best player in Havoc Esports, S5 Cosmic. Welcome to the chat. And it looks like we'll finally see the first goal on the board. Havoc Teal end up scoring for it first. Pulse ends up not being able to get the touch, but he sets up Swift perfectly, who slots it top shelf. And goal number 1 will be in the hands of Havoc Teal. And remember, before tonight started, Smoking Guns were 5-0. And in their first match, they play against Havoc Teal, and Havoc Teal beats them 3-1 in a gentleman's sweep. Havoc Teal wins. So now Smoking Guns don't have the pressure of a perfect season on them. So maybe this is the time. Maybe we finally see a team like Smoking Guns beat Havoc Pink. Havoc Pink have won every single series they've shown up to. They have one loss throughout the entire season. They perfectly won every single. Oh, there we go. Nano Voltage puts that one in. But Havoc Teal, they have won. Sorry, Havoc Pink have won every series they've shown up to. The entire season, they went 7-0 in Split 1. They won the entirety of the Academy playoffs without losing a series. And then outside of week 1 of Split 2, where they had to forfeit, they have not lost since then. So Havoc Pink are looking for the virtual undefeated season at this moment in time. Which, to be fair, it's technically not undefeated since they did lose a series to a forfeit, but it's the closest to perfection that we'll be seeing this season if Havoc Pink can end up winning this split to their next match. Here we go. Havoc Teal looking to try and pile on the pressure, and right now they're actually doing so in a very well-made fashion. Now they will get the beat past 1. Nano Voltage looking for the beat over to Pulse. Pulse for the sidewall. We're back over now to Coast. Coast tried to pop that one forward to Swift. Swift trying to maintain possession. We're back off the corner, into the corner once more. And here comes Shadow Slayer, looking to try and clear this one out of their own half. But Havoc Teal, something they've been doing well all split long, has been consistently piling on pressure. And the man who's been doing it the best is Coast. Pulse does get the pass across. It becomes awkward, but Coast, with a perfect touch, not only gets it in the net, but he actually makes the other team own goal. And that's something that's very interesting to notice about Coast. He's not the most mechanical player in the Academy League, but he is definitely probably one of the best players in the Academy League. His individual ability to play around his teammates and know what the opponents are doing is honestly fantastic. And Pulse will mechanically put that one in the back of the net, and there we go. That's going to be goal number 2 for maybe even goal number 3 for Havoc Teal now, as they're continuing to pile on the pressure. Now that's something we do have to remember. Havoc Teal and Havoc White, they came in to replace Sloshernauts and Havoc Black from Split 1 since those two teams disbanded, and they were given only one split to try and obtain points. And now both these teams are in a great spot where they can both make the Split 2 playoffs and have an even greater chance to make the Academy playoffs at the end of the season, because they're stealing spots from teams that got into Split 1 for free. Cypher Black, they got into the Split 1 playoffs essentially for free. We look at teams like Havoc Purple. They also got in somewhat for free. Havoc Orange got in for free. But now those teams are forced to actually earn those spots. And right now, those 3 teams are fighting for their lives to make the playoffs, since Havoc White and Havoc Teal have been on such a tear. That's going to be a miss from Havoc White, and Havoc Teal, again, continue to pile on the pressure time after time. They're just, I don't know what's happening right now, but it's going to be Shadow Slayer out of nowhere, finding a goal, bringing it back within one. Honestly, unexpected, since throughout this entire game so far, it's been nothing but Havoc Teal pressure. Here we go, though, folks. Ball back over to Pulse. Pulse not able to get there. We back over to Swift. Swift trying to maintain possession. We're back over now to the hands of Shadow Slayer. He ends up getting beat. Can Party Shark clear this one out? He will. In the hands of Coast now. Coast. Alt to Pulse. Pulse looking for the shot. Can't find the clincher. And now we're going to be seeing Havoc Pink look to try and start their way up the field. Can they get the win? Ball back over now to Swift. Swift trying to just waste time. 18 seconds to go. Can they waste enough time to win game number 1? Ball back over to Pulse. Pulse. Now back out to the side. Over to Swift. Swift can't get the touch he needs. Ball back into the hands of Shadow Slayer, but he ends up missing. Now Swift just has to waste down the clock and think it touched the ground. And that one will be kept up. They look for a shot, but the ball will finally touch the ground. Game number 1 goes to the hands of Havoc Teal. Great stuff there from Havoc Teal, and we're now going to be moving on to Beckwith Park Storm. And one thing to take note of, look at that demo difference. Havoc Teal, 5 demos to Havoc White's 1 demo, and that off-ball pressure is always going to be very, very important for the team that's trying to get a win. If you can be confident in your individual ability and apply off-ball pressure, you will be the better team. At the end of the day, the other team would have to have some insane individual ability to be able to make up for the fact they don't have demos. And right now, we're seeing Havoc Teal. They're piling on the pressure. They're piling on the consistency. And now we're going to be going into game number 2 with Havoc Teal in the series lead, looking to try and clinch themselves a spot as the first seed in Havoc. Now, I do believe if Havoc Teal and Havoc White end up going to game 5, and then Smoking Guns Gaming, if they end up winning their series in game 4, then we would actually have a tie in the standings, in which it would go off the split 1 points onto who actually clinches first seed. But right off the bat, we're seeing Havoc Teal. Oh my goodness. Almost getting a goal, but Nano Voltage will get a save off that one. Now be in the hands of Coast. Coast trying to beat that one out. To Party Shark. Party Shark gets beat. Now I'll be back over to Pulse. Pulse pops it up high. Looking, trying to set up a teammate off the backboard, but no one there to follow up as the defense of Havoc White looking strong compared to game 1. Swift trying to hit this ball, ends up leaving it for Coast, and Coast loses the 50 back, but no one on his team is ready for it. It's going to be up to Pulse now, trying to set up the solo play, but he ends up being on 17 boost and bangs the ball down the field. Coast looking for a quick shot, not going to work out though, and Nano Voltage will be looking for a shot of his own, and Pulse with an easy touch out will save that ball to the side. Back to Shadow Slayer, to Pulse. Pulse ends up missing that one to Party Shark. Party Shark will put that one in the back of the net. Havoc White open up the scoreline for the first time this series. Last game score was 3-2 for Havoc Teal. And right now we're seeing Havoc White open up the scoring first here in game number 2. Ball back out to the side. Swift will put that one in the back of the net. Havoc Teal tying up the game early on. And of course, Havoc Teal, they're looking to try and complete the sweep here. They want to win and clinch this first seed. They want to make it so even, and we have to remember, even though Havoc Pink have not lost a single series they've shown up to all season, Havoc Teal could very well clinch and steal the first seed from both them and Smoking Guns Gaming with the sweep here. Shadow Slayer puts it off his own crossbar. It's going to set up Pulse. Pulse has an empty net. What happened with Havoc White? Havoc White managed to get the dub here. Sorry. What am I saying? Okay, I think I had a little bit of a brain fart here. I didn't have a lot of sleep. I did have to coach at like 8 in the morning. But we're here now, ready for the moment for Havoc Teal to try and clinch first seed. But now ball's now going to be back over to Coast. Coast back over now to Pulse. Pulse ends up missing that one. And with 3.5 minutes left on the clock, Pulse on 0 boost, still trying to maintain possession, trying to flick that ball out mid. Not able to do so, though. And we back over to Coast. Coast with the shot and the goal. 3.5 minutes left on the clock, and Coast puts the game up by 2. And Havoc Teal, they're warmed up. They beat the undefeated for Split 2 team, Smoking Guns Gaming, and are now looking to try and full-on win here in this series. As a special note, everybody, the only team that has beaten Havoc Teal this split, and technically this season, since Havoc Teal didn't play in Split 1, is Havoc Pink. Havoc Pink's the only team to actually win against Havoc Teal. And Havoc Teal also used the substitute in the very first week, and they actually managed to win in their very first match on stream. And it was a very interesting matchup because it was against Slawtowns, the third best team in Havoc, and Havoc Teal came in with the sub and actually managed to beat them in Game 5. And then from then on, they lost to Havoc Pink in the second week, and then after that point, they have not lost a single series, and they've won every series in a pretty much dominant fashion. And everybody, remember, the match of the night, the match of the season, is after this. Havoc Pink versus Smoking Guns Gaming will be happening here on the mainstream right after this match. So be sure to get prepared, get your popcorn or whatever in between matches, and then we'll be ready after this series to show you the match of the night. And honestly, this match is a very important one as well. These are the two new teams, Havoc White and Havoc Teal. They both came in and both won their first in the first 2 weeks. They managed to win their first series ever on the Havoc mainstream, and now both of them are looking to make the Split 2 playoffs. It's just right now, Havoc Teal, maybe that win against Smoking Guns gave them a newfound confidence, because Havoc White, they took Smoking Guns to Game 4, but they lost, whereas Havoc Teal took them to Game 4 and won. So there is a slight difference here. So Havoc Teal is definitely expected to be the small favorites here in this match, but the way they're playing, they honestly may as well have been the best, the more likely favorites. Ball back over now to Coast. Coast pinches that ball out to Party Shark. Party Shark now ends up leaving it for Shadow Slayer. He tried to pass the ball mid, but a missed touch will set up Swift. Looked for the double tap, and he ends up not having enough boost. Back to Pulse. Pulse looking for the follow-up touch of his own, but he can't get to that one. Back over to Swift. Swift now, trying to maintain possession. Back over to Nano Voltage. Nano Voltage is Shadow Slayer. Shadow Slayer looking for the clean beat. It could have been a shot and a goal there, but he ends up missing the initial shot. Minute and a half left to go. Minute and a half left to go here in game number 2. And right now, we just haven't seen much offense from Havoc White. In game 1, Havoc White, they managed to bring it back within 1 and started to pile on some pressure. And there we go. We will see Party Shark bring it back within 2. And with a minute and a half left on the clock, we are staying near the same scoreline as to what it was in the final minute of game 1. The question is, will they be able to score early enough to try and bring it back? In game 1, Havoc Teal were able to maintain the 1-goal lead at the very end pretty easily, whereas Havoc White kind of relieved their pressure. But maybe they can try and find a goal here early on and try to see if they can tie it up afterwards. Ball back to Coast. Coast popping that ball out to the side to Swift. Swift here ends up popping that ball mid to Shadow Slayer. Now to Pulse. Pulse popping the ball over the side wall. We shot on target, and Nano Voltage actually puts it in. It will be a 1-goal deficit now late in game number 2, just as it was in game 1. Back to a 1-goal deficit, and it's Shadow Slayer with the playmaker. And then Party Shark also finding himself 2 goals. Nano Voltage on the board with a goal as well. So both these teams looking consistent, but there we go, right off the kickoff. Will we see a kickoff goal? A miss. Swift has to get the save, and he will get the touch out to the corner. Will now be over to Pulse. Pulse can't get the touch. Now over to the hands of Coast. Coast trying to maintain possession here. Not able to get there, though, and be back to Pulse. Pulse and Coast both end up touching that ball and somewhat team pinching that ball to the offensive corner. Now, Havoc Teal, they were able to maintain the 1-goal lead at the end of the game last time. Let's see if they're going to be able to do that again and try and start out this series up 2-0. That's going to be a miss there from Party Shark, but he's going to be looking for the demo. Pulse, can he get the save? Another demo attempt, and Nano Voltage ties the game for Havoc White. And now Havoc Teal are going to find themselves under pressure here, as with 6 seconds left of the tied game, and we very well may see an overtime. Havoc Teal weren't able to do what they could in the what they weren't. Excuse me, everybody. I do apologize. Here we go. Havoc White able to do what they weren't able to do in game 1, and they were able to tie it up. But can they get the win? Can they tie the series up? I mean, this comeback here was a fantastic one. Pulse does keep it in the air momentarily, but it will touch the ground. And ladies and gentlemen, we will have overtime in game number 2 of the second series on stream tonight. Ball back to Shadow Slayer as he looks for a pass mid, ends up not being able to connect on the touch, and Party Shark will send the ball into the offensive corner. Coast with not the best touch, has to look for a save. He misses. Back to Nanovoltage. He shoots, and it will be saved by Pulse. Coast with an uncharacteristic miss. Shadow Slayer pops it high into the air. He followed up here on his own. Looks him in the pass mid, and Swift clears the ball down. That's going to be a miss, though. An empty net. Swift looking for the shot. Shadow Slayer, can he get back? No! And Swift will find himself the hat trick. The man who couldn't score in his first series on stream is now getting hat tricks against his fellow new team. And that's going to bring them to game number 2. And we're already on match point, folks. Series number 1 was a sweep, and series number 2 is looking for a sweep, even though... And everybody, I'm going to be honest with you, I scheduled all the matches here, like 1 through 4 on the mainstream, because I thought they would be the most, I thought they would be the closest matches. In game 1, sweep. Game 2 was a forfeit, so technically a sweep. And now game 3 between these two teams looking to also be a sweep. Hopefully Havoc Pink and Smoking Guns, assuming this series ends up being a sweep, can make it close, which they always do. I believe the last time they played was a game 6, and in league play, it was a game 5. So best of 5, game 5, the last time these teams played in league play, I do believe. And I could check that in between games here. But on to Sovereign Heights we go, as Havoc White. They do not want to have to win the next series, because right now, if Havoc White win this series, they've already clinched playoffs. But if they lose this series, especially in a sweep, there's a very good chance that Havoc White can still miss out on the playoffs, even though having a fantastic early season. Here we go, folks. We never know how a series like this is going to go. Let's see if Havoc Teal can clinch it out in game 3 as Havoc Purple were able to, or if Havoc White are going to start the comeback. And everybody, thank you so much, everybody who is watching and has been supporting us all season long. It's been a pleasure to commentate. I know I've been commentating a majority of the matches, but hopefully going into next season, we'll be able to have a lot more commentators. We'll have the infrastructure to really show up with commentators and help everyone out. And especially for the playoffs will be having some extra commentators as well. So you won't just have to hear my old raggedy voice. Here we go. Ball. Back out into the air here. Havoc White looking to try and score first. Again, out to the side. And yes, actually, everybody, I found out Havoc Pink did beat Team Cypher in game 5. So if you guys, and that was when Smoking Guns were called Team Cypher. Of course, now they're part of Smoking Guns now. But the last time Havoc Pink and Cypher Pink and Smoking Guns played in the league play, it went all the way to game 5, where Havoc Pink came out with the win. So maybe Smoking Guns has what it takes to maybe win the next series. But here we go. Coast will end up putting that one in the back of the net. Havoc Teal on the board first, and off of a great team play. Ball past mid to Coast, and they end up finding that one. And honestly, folks, Havoc Teal are looking like a team that not only can win Academy right now, but they're looking like a team that could maybe even contend against the main league teams if they can make it all the way to the last chance qualifier. And Swift will put that one in. 1 minute off the clock, and yet a 2-goal lead for Havoc Teal. And everybody, the next match is still technically supposed to start at 10:30. Normally prepared for all 5 games, and we're normally prepared for the time to go all the way to 5, right? But with a sweep like this, we'll probably have a good 15-20 minute intermission before the next match is supposed to start, assuming Havoc Teal complete the sweep. Swift will pop that ball mid. Shadow Slayer tries to tap it up for Nanovoltage to follow. Nanovoltage looking for the follow-up himself. Ends up going back over to Shadow Slayer, who, following his own touch, manages to get it past not just 1 but 2 players, but it gets hit right into Swift. Swift looking to try and continue his scoring streak from the previous game. We'll be now over to Coast. Coast looking for the shot. It's off the crossbar. That could have been the clincher there for Havoc Teal, but now Havoc White still down by 2. Gonna be looking to try and come back once more. A great shot there from the side while setting up Swift. Swift looking for the shot, and it's off the post as well. Every single ball ricocheting out the post. Nano Voltage through the air. Pinches that one. Back out to the curve. Ends up getting miss, actually, for Havoc Teal. And Havoc White have brought it back within 1 in Game 3. So this series is not over just yet. Of course, Havoc Teal, if they end up losing this game, we're going to be thinking back to all the posts that they hit to try and bring it up by 3. But Havoc White, they might have some momentum. They were able to tie up the game last time. And with 3 minutes up on the clock, they definitely have ample time to bring back this 1-goal deficit. Coast can be looking to try and center this ball mid. It's over the head of Pulse, and now it'll be a counterattack opportunity for Nano Voltage. He doesn't get the best of touches, but it still floats towards the net. Swift ends up missing, and Coast will be the one to save that one. Nano Voltage ends up getting beat there. Back over to Coast. Coast to the sidewall. Back over now. Oh my goodness, the ball ends up pinching out the post again. Havoc Teal seemed to not be able to buy a goal after the first 2 went in. It'll be a solid touch there from Coast. He's looking for the dunk, and Nano Voltage will touch it out to the side. Coast with a great demo on the back line. And here comes Pulse. Pulse looking for possession. Ends up not being able to get it around Shadow Slayer, who centers it mid over to Party Shark, and that will find itself off the backboard as well. Neither one of these teams seem to be able to hit the back of the net. Pulse now, trying to maintain possession. Looking for a pass mid to Coast. Coast, he puts it off the post, and that's going to be a 3-man commit. Can Shadow Slayer get the goal? He will not! Ball off the post, and Coast gets the save! Pulse with the game! A series-saving goal. A series-saving save. Oh my goodness. Of course, they still have 2 series after this, but so many times I've seen, earlier today, the team that I coach, we lost the first 2 games and ended up reverse sweeping after we scored first in Game 3. That's all it takes. If a comeback of this magnitude for Havoc White would allow them to try and start the reverse sweep. But Havoc Teal, they're looking just a little bit too good on defense here as they stop the offensive push once more for Havoc White. And Havoc White are still looking to try and tie the game. And now this is 3 games in a row where Havoc Teal has had a 1-goal lead in the final minute. And only one of those times has the game been tied up, and they still lost in overtime. A great dunk from Shadow Slayer. Will be looking to try and set her at mid for a teammate, but not awkward enough apparently, as now it'll be Havoc Teal taking a free possession down in the midfield. In the midfield now. Looking for a pop towards the backboard, and he's not going to be able to get the follow-up there. Pulse looking for the shot, and that's going to be an own goal! Horrifying opportunity there for Havoc White, as now they're down by 2 with less than a minute to go, and it's off the back of an own goal. Shadow Slayer, he couldn't get the save, and he couldn't leave it for a teammate either. He ends up just tapping it past his teammate. Sad stuff there from Havoc White. But everybody, if you are a Havoc White fan, if you go to twitch.tv/AzrielHV, that's where Havoc White's next match will be. But as I'm saying that, Havoc White do manage to score right off the kickoff. Both players end up faking that one, and Nano Voltage, as he's the only one who cheated, managed to get a free goal off the kickoff. Back to the kickoff. 40 seconds to go. Just a similar score line and time to when Havoc Teal were able to maintain the 1-goal lead. But will they do it this time? Ball back over now to Havoc Teal. Havoc Teal ends up not being in the back of the net, and Nano Voltage finds himself not 1, but 2 goals to tie up the game. Look at this here from Nano Voltage. He just got it, and he gets it past the defenders, both of them. No one on Havoc Teal prepared. And we're back to a tied game here with 22 seconds to go. Pulse wins the kickoff over to the side. Oh, now be up to Coast to try and pass this ball mid, but he ends up centering it. It's going back to Nano Voltage. Nano Voltage almost with a game-winning hat trick right there, but he ends up not finding the goal. And now Swift taking his time. Tries to get it around 1. Gets it over now to Pulse. Pulse looking to try and get this ball down the field. He's not able to do so. And with both Havoc Teal play members sitting in net, you would expect this ball to touch the ground, and it will, but it does touch the goal line. That was so close. How did that ball not go in? And now Havoc Teal looking to win it, and Coast will get the goal. Havoc White lose that one in a sad fashion. They lost in 2 overtimes, and they could have won it there at 0 seconds, and they aren't able to do it. Sad times for Havoc White, but ladies and gentlemen, didn't even play in Split 1, and your first seeds going into Split 2 will be Havoc Teal. Oh my, everybody. What a series, what a match. And everybody, don't get deterred by the fact that this is a 3-0. This is as close a series as anyone could have made it for it being a sweep. The only other series I saw that was closer than this was there was actually a South American match where it went 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. Like that's how close the match was. And that's how close the match was. So, of course, it wasn't, I mean, all those games were 1-goal games at the end of the day. They may not have been 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, but it's still a very close series. But again, the off-ball pressure seems to win out for Havoc Teal. It seems like to be that was the main determining factor in this series. They were in all 3 games, Havoc Teal had a lot more demos than the other team. And it looks like that was the main determining factor for the early leads, but 2, the overtime wins as well. But ladies and gentlemen, that will be it for series number 3. And coming up at 10:30 EST, we'll be starting the 4th and final match of the entirety of league play. So see you guys all in a bit. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back here to the Havoc Academy League. I'm your host, HVC Luke, and today we have a fantastic final match of the entire season for you all tonight. We have Havoc Pink versus Smoking Guns Gaming. Both teams with only 1 loss this split. Havoc Pink due to a forfeit, and then Smoking Guns Gaming, who lost to Havoc Teal earlier tonight on the B stream. Both these teams are playing for the 2nd seed, and for those of you all who do not know, the 2nd seed in the playoffs is very, very important. Because with being 2nd seed, you get a bye in the first round. Whereas if you don't get 2nd seed and you make the playoffs, you have to play 1 best-of-5 before you even make the top 4, which is going to be way more difficult to try and accomplish. Of course, both these teams definitely have it in them to beat any team, but who will be the team to try and beat each other? Who will be the ones to win? Last time these 2 teams played in the Split 1 league play, it went to Game 5. And in the Split 1 playoffs, it went to Game 6, with Havoc Pink winning both times. And now we're going to be going into game number 3. Sorry, the 3rd time these teams have played to get together. Final match of the series. Let's see who has what it takes to get the win. Oh my, this will definitely be an interesting match here, folks. Let's see who will end up getting the W here. Here we go, folks. Starting off one of the most important matches of the night. Let's see who has what it takes to get the win. There we go, and right off the bat, Mr. Chair will score first. What a fantastic shot there, and a fantastic goal from Mr. Chair. It's a long shot at that one, too. And Havoc Pink going to start off a little bit slow here in their 2nd series. Now, both these teams have already played 1 series. This will be both their teams' 2nd series of the night. Let's see who has what it takes here, everybody. Who will have what it takes to win this game? But here we go. Ball back over now to the side. It's a Predude. Predude will get the save. Will be touched out to the corner now, as Mr. Cherry tries to keep this ball on the offensive end. Ball back over now. The follow-up to Mr. Chair. Ends up having to rotate back and get the touch for himself. He ends up grabbing the boost, and he's in the air first. Looking for the shot. It's going to be on target and saved away by Havoc Pink. Now, we have talked the entire season about the #1 most mechanical player in Kilo and the #2 most mechanical player in Tricky. And now we're seeing these two players face off against each other. We have not really seen Kilo play against the squad except for the playoffs, where it looked like as a team, Smoking Guns kind of fell off. But we would have to say, if Tricky manages to help out Havoc Pink, clinch out another win against Smoking Guns, I mean, I wouldn't hesitate to say that the most mechanical player in Academy may indeed be Tricky. I mean, or at least the best player in Academy may indeed be Tricky. But here we go, folks. And just as a special note, it looks like Havoc Orange are actually taking some goals off of Havoc White. Very interesting to see in that regard. But everybody, at the end of the night, we will be showing who is top 6. And by the way, it looks like we do have a tie between Havoc Purple and Cypher Black. After tonight, they are tied in both series and game differential, and we will need to see a tiebreaker match between those two teams to see who will make the Split 2 playoffs. Now, if Cypher Black don't make the Split 2 playoffs, it's not the end of the world. They got top 4 in the last playoffs. But if Havoc Purple don't make the playoffs, there's a very good chance they won't make the Academy playoffs at the end of the season as well. And a great 50 on the goal line there from Smoking Guns will actually keep that ball out of their net. Here we go. Let's see if Havoc, if Cypher, so many different teams, so many different names, so many different changes. Okay, let's see if Smoking Guns has what it takes. Not only take game 1, but multiple games off this Team Pink squad. And it looks like goal number 2 will find itself in the back of the net. And who else but Zay will put that one in. They're continuing to look confident here. Now, both these teams have looked good so far, but Havoc Pink are definitely are still known as the favorites. And actually, something to take note of here is Havoc Pink brought on a new member to their squad I believe Rebel was the person brought on to the Havoc Pink squad initially as a substitute. And he was actually the main member for Smoking Guns when they were called Team Cypher, when they won the seeding tournament at the beginning of the season. And ever since they dropped Rebel, Smoking Guns have not been able to win a series have not been able to win a tournament since. Now, granted, they've been close, but they have not been able to get the same firepower as they did when they had Rebel on the team. And now Rebel is on Team Pink. And right now, Havoc Pink, they're down 0-3 and haven't scored their first goal. So you have to wonder, will they bring in Rebel, or is Rebel even able to play? Minute left on the clock, and Havoc Pink still yet to score their first goal. But honestly, the Smoking Guns losing to Team Havoc Teal may have been the best thing for them to be able to do, because it kind of wakens them up. It realizes that they're not undefeated, that they are defeatable. They have to remember that they have to be trying in every single series, because if they want to beat Havoc Pink, they have to be at the best of their potential. And right now, we're seeing Havoc Pink, they do score a goal here early on in the final minute, which might allow them to try and come back and tie at this game. Still within 2 goals, but Havoc Pink, they're a team that can do phenomenal things. Back to Predude. Predude into the air. Back over to Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair now. Followed up here by Kilo. Kilo couldn't get the touch he wanted. We're back over now to Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair looking for a flick. Top left corner. It's off the post, and it's in. Mr. Chair taps it in right after the initial miss. But everybody, every single series on the mainstream tonight has been a sweep. And I put all these matches on the mainstream expecting them to not be sweeps. And yet, every single series has been a sweep so far. And yet, Smoking Guns, they have never beaten Havoc Pink before. They're going to be looking to try and continue that pattern going into game number 2. So far, we have not seen a tied series except for 0-0 today. We've seen it close. We've seen Havoc Teal in the previous series. They saw that every single game was a 1-goal game. 2 of them were overtimes. But they still were able to sweep the series. And it looks like right now, Havoc White are currently winning in the first game of their series. And it looks like they're up by 2 in the final minute. So Havoc White looking to try and clinch their playoff spot. Whereas Smoking Guns, they're looking to try and clinch second. Now, Smoking Guns can get second seed. That'd be fantastic. And I believe that would mean Havoc Pink would get third seed, meaning that we could see a semifinal match between these two teams in the Split 2 playoffs, which means no matter what, we would have a new split grand finals. We could very well see the same champions at the end of the day, because Havoc Pink could still make it to the grand finals and win. But we could see a new grand final, and actually, no matter what, we'll be seeing a new grand final matchup as long as Smoking Guns win this game. But here we go. Smoking Guns Gaming on top first. Now we're going to be going into Beckwith Park Stormy. Can they keep this form up? Can we see Smoking Guns for the first time this season not only get a solid win, but do so in a great fashion? Because even earlier this season, we've seen Smoking Guns lose games to teams like Havoc Orange. And Havoc Orange, they're expected to not beat any teams. And of course, Havoc Orange actually have Havoc Orange have 2 series or even 1 series win on the season so far against a team like Havoc Purple. So if Smoking Guns can lose a game to Havoc Orange, you have to wonder, how consistent are they really? Ball back over to Predude. Puts that ball to the corner. Followed up here by Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair to Kilo. Kilo trying to maintain possession. Will now be looking to try and take it on his own. Now be back over to Rebel. Rebel looking for the follow-up. He's not able to get the touch, though. Now be back over. And actually, excuse me, looking at this, it looks like Rebel has subbed in for Havoc Pink. So they have subbed out Unicorn Huntress they subbed Rebel in for Unicorn Huntress. Let's see what Rebel can do. And then I believe this is the first time we're seeing the old teammates play against each other. It's the first time we're seeing Rebel versus his old team. Let's see if it's going to do anything to change what will happen at the end of this series. Because right now, Smoking Guns, they're looking to try and sweep the series as early as possible. Because if Havoc Pink get warmed up, you have to wonder if Smoking Guns will be able to complete the win at that point. Ball back to Predude. Predude to Rebel. Rebel now trying to maintain possession. Well, now be back over now to Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair pops the ball down the field over to Predude. Predude can't get the touch. But now be back over to Tricky. Tricky can't get the touch that he wants, but he was able to get the follow-up. And he gets the beat, but he can't get it past Mr. Chair. Predude keeps the ball on the offensive end. Looks to pop it past one. Can he get the pass mid? He will pass it out, but it's not going to be the best of passes, and it'll be sent all the way into his own end. Rebel through the air. Gets the beat over one. Going to be looking for the dunk. Can he get the dunk? No. Go back over to Predude. Predude gets dunked out by the likes of Zay. Zay looking for a pass out mid. Can't get it past the defender, though. Will now be in the hands of Rebel once more. Rebel completely leaves the ball. And you will get a solid touch to try and keep this ball on the offensive end. Fails the breezy flick. But Tricky, can he find the shot? No, not able to find the shot. And Kilo sends this ball out. Ball back out to the middle. To Predude. Predude over to Rebel. Will now be back in the hands of Mr. Cherry. Tries to pass this ball out mid. Zay's awkward, but he ends up getting dunked by Predude, who sends the ball over to Rebel. But some great patience from the likes of Kilo will actually keep this ball out of harm's way for right now. Still tied 0-0, though. Both Rebel and Smoking Guns failing to score yet for the first time against each other. Back over to Mr. Chair. Sends the ball down the field to Kilo. Kilo, he is Rebel's replacement right now, so you do have to wonder if Smoking Guns end up losing the series to Rebel. They'll always have to question themselves, like, was removing Rebel from the roster a good pick? Now Kilo's extremely mechanical, so I think it's no fault to Kilo, but we do have to remember that Smoking Guns, before they dropped Rebel, were at least winning a tournament, whereas now they have yet to do so. And now Rebels against that one team that Smoking Guns have never been able to win with Kilo. Ball back over now to Rebel. Rebel trying to get the beat, not able to get there though. Back to Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair gets the beat. Back over now to Tricky. Tricky trying to maintain possession. Nabby over to the side of the field where now Zay will try and get this ball to the offensive end. Still 1-goal lead for the likes of Havoc, Pink. Back over to Kilo. Kilo popping the ball to the side. Over to Mr. Chair now. Mr. Chair tried to get the beat, not able to do so though, and we'll look for a pass out mid, but a failed touch will allow Tricky to get the one out to the midfield. Now it's going to be Tricky looking for a goal and ends up not being able to get it past Zay, the defender. Mr. Chair, with not the best of the first touches, allows Predu to keep this ball in the offensive end. With a minute left on the clock, they're going to be looking to try and tie. They're going to be looking to try and tie up the series score for the first time tonight. We now over to Mr. Chair. He flicks it. Ends up not being able to get it past Rebel. Ball bounces out mid to Tricky. Tricky looking for the shot. And the ball will get touched out to the side by Zay. A great demo will relieve some pressure here. Let's see what Kilo can do. Kilo fetches that ball across the pitch to Zay. Zay misses the boost, but he ends up pivoting that ball out to where Kilo could potentially follow it. But he ends up waiting for a while, and he ends up not going for it. He does eventually get the beat. But still, that was a very close opportunity for the likes of Havoc Pink to try and extend this goal lead by 2. Rebel sends the ball down the pitch. Will bounce up high into the air. And Rebel with the follow-up puts it off the backboard. Follow-up, and that's going to be a goal. Havoc Pink with the 2-goal lead. And look at that. Look at how they do it as well. Put the ball off the backboard from Rebel. Doesn't even go for the shot, and Predude will put that one in the back of the net. Smoking Guns Gaming. Looks like we're not going to be seeing 4 sweeps tonight, as they're going to have to go back to the drawing board after this one, as it looks like Havoc Pink with the substitute in are looking pretty good. See if they can continue this one forward. And it looks like the ball will be touching the ground here right now. And Havoc Pink have tied up the series, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness. It's not the night that I've been expecting. I mean, I expected the series to be somewhat close, but I thought it was going to be like the rest of the matches tonight where like it was close games, but one of the teams still ended up getting a sweep. But no, as a matter of fact. And look at that, not a lot of demos as well. It looks like Smoking Guns, just as they do whenever they're nervous, they kind of drop off on the demos. And that normally is to their downfall. Normally Smoking Guns, they lose games when they drop off on the demos. So we're going to be going into Sovereign Heights here with Smoking Guns losing game 2 and dropping off on the demo. So let's see what they can do to try and reinvigorate themselves going into game number 3. Here we go, folks. Players have joined the lobby once more for game number 3. Let's see who has what it takes to try and take the lead in the series once more. So far, we have only seen Smoking Guns lead in the series, and once they have a lead in the series, they tend to just drop off on what's allowing them to win. And in this case, it was their demos. Let's see if they can win this time. Ball gets pinched towards an empty net, and Smoking Guns will find themselves on the board first. Smoking Guns, every time they've scored first, they've won so far, and they weren't able to win the last game after getting scored on. But right now, we're seeing them score first, and maybe this will be just that one kind of back and forth affair. Here we go. Back out to the offensive end here for Havoc Pink. Mr. Chair will touch it to the side, but no pressure will be relieved. To pass out mid. May set up Rebel, but Rebel's not able to find the shot. They'll be taken away. Back out to the side. Now back out to Mr. Chair. He ended up scoring goal number 1. He'll be looking to try and extend the lead by 2, trying to solidify this game to win. Here we go. Ball back out to the side to Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair gets the beat. Not able to get the follow-up, though. And Tricky will put it off the corner. Followed up now. Back out to the side. Over to Rebel. Rebel trying to maintain possession. Ends up putting it off to the side, but not able to get the ball to the offensive half. A great follow-up from Smoking Guns will allow them to keep some pressure, but they're not able to do so for that long. And Havoc Pink will be looking to try and get this ball not only out to the midfield line, but to try and get the win as well. Back out to the corner. Over now to Rebels. He's trying to maintain possession. Ends up beating that one. Back out to the midfield line. Mr. Chair looking to try and cut it and pass it mid. Zay gets a touch, but he gets dunked by Rebel. Rebel's actually been doing a fantastic job with his early challenges. He has been throwing himself for the ball in some situations, which is allowing Smoking Guns to keep some pressure. But when Rebel does actually hit the challenge, he completely throws Smoking Guns for a loop. Ball back over now to Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair to Rebel. Rebel now, not able to get up to it. Follow up from Tricky. Tricky off the post, and yet no goal. Predude comes in at the final moment. Keeps the ball in the offensive end, setting up Tricky. Tricky shoots, and that will be saved away by Mr. Chair and launched all the way down the pitch. Back out to the side. To Zay. Zay can't get the touch he wants. The Predude. Predude looking for the follow. Can't get to it. We're back in the hands of Rebel now. Rebel popping the ball forward to Zay. Zay with the shot. Zay with the goal. 2.5 minutes left on the clock, and they have a 2-goal lead. Fantastic stuff from Smoking Guns. They're looking to try and extend this lead even further. Rebel looking to try and get a double mid. He will set up his teammate in Tricky, but Zay will end up getting help from his teammate to save that one out to the corner. Mr. Chair trying to maintain possession. Gets the flick over one. We've been seeing a lot of flicks here from Mr. Chair, and honestly, it looks like his flicks are just a little bit weaker than they are in the dominance, which of course is expected. But you have to wonder if maybe that's why he switched the card. Maybe he realized all his dominance flicks were going above the crossbar. So instead of trying to learn how to put them under the crossbar, he just used the same kind of flicks, but on a different car. And honestly, for short-term gain, that might be a good thing for him. Of course, it would be nice if he learned how to flick the ball under the crossbar with the longer hitbox. But of course, you only have so much time here in leagues like this. Here we go. Ball benches out to the midfield line. The corner now. And it will be a goal for Rebel. Final minute in the game. And we see Havoc Pink bring it back within one. And look at this here, folks. Tricky puts it awkward here in Kilo. Instead of catching it on the backboard, he lets it bounce and tries to go for the block. But at the end of the day, why would you let the other team have a free shot when you could have just taken possession yourself? So Kilo, a little bit of a misplay there going against who he replaced. Ball back over to Zay. Get the touch not past one, but 2 players. And Tricky looking for a pass out and back. Is it not being able to get it to Rebel? Over to Kilo now. Kilo puts it off the sidewall. Back over now to Zay. Zay to Tricky. Tricky. Over to Rebel, and he puts it in the back of the net. Smoking Guns had a 2-goal lead and have thrown it away in under 30 seconds. What is happening right now for Smoking Guns? And look at that. Tricky didn't even get a bump. He just couldn't get up to the ball in time. And now Smoking Guns on the verge of losing to Havoc Pink once again. Of course, it's still tied, but all the momentum is in Havoc Pink's favor. Tricky putting it high on the backboard. Looking for the follow-up. Not able to get there, though. 50's that one to the side. Mr. Chair over to Rebel. Rebel gets the beat on one. Pitches the ball out to the side. And back out now to Tricky. Tricky ends up getting beat. And a miss there from Predude might allow some counterattack capabilities. A great bump. Almost lets it open the goal, but Rebel does get the save. Mr. Chair putting it off the backboard. It's actually awkward off the crossbar. Zay keeps it in. Where's the follow-up? No follow-up is there. And Kilo just waiting for the ball to drop down, but Predude puts it off the backboard. Mr. Chair has to get the touch. He will, and the ball will remain in the air. Zay putting it off the corner, and the ball will almost touch the ground, but it's still kept up. Havoc Pink looking for a 0-second goal. It's still in the air. Ball floating over the net. Here comes Rebel looking for the shot. It's a 0-second goal, and Havoc Pink go up in the series by 1 after being down by 2 goals in game number 3. What happened there? Havoc Pink were down by 2 goals, and then in under a minute, Smoking Guns throw away the lead. And again, look at that. I mean, Smoking Guns, they were up by 2, but again, not a lot of demos compared to what they normally do have. And honestly, I was looking to see how many bumps they were getting as well, but they weren't getting really any bumps. They weren't getting much bumps either. So, Havoc Pink now up 2-1 in the series on match point, and the Smoking Guns are going to not only have to try and win game 4, but bring it to a game 5 to try and win against a team they've never beaten before. Everyone's like, well, didn't you say Smoking Guns won the seeding tournament? Yes, but Havoc Pink didn't play in the seeding tournament. They ended up having to forfeit that one. So, will Smoking Guns have what it takes to get the win here? Honestly, I don't know. I really don't know if they will have what it takes, because right now, it's nothing but nerves here for either of these teams. Here we go, folks. Now into game number 4. Havoc Pink on match point and Smoking Guns trying to tie it up. And this will be another. And remember, we have to remember, Havoc Teal got a gentleman's sweep against Smoking Guns earlier tonight. And if Havoc Pink win this game, that'll be 2 gentleman's sweeps in a row. 1 to Havoc Teal and 1 to Havoc Pink. Smoking Guns looking to open up the scoreline first here, and once again they do. And look at that, with the bumps. This is what they were missing in the last 2 games. They managed to open it up with the bumps, and that's how they score the first goal. This game and series is nowhere near over yet. And Smoking Guns are going to be looking to try and bring it to that final game. Ball back out to the backboard. He followed up here. And a follow-up shot from Tricky, and we're back at a tied game. Oh my goodness, neither one of these teams want to maintain the lead here for that long. I mean, we saw Smoking Guns. I mean, they tried to take a lead for a long time, and then they ended up still losing the match. Although, special note here, Havoc Orange, it looks like Havoc Orange are winning with 45 seconds to go. In Game 3, they are also about to get swept by Havoc White. But if they manage to win this game, they could start the comeback. Ball now over to Kilo. Kilo can't get the touch he wants. Back over now to the corner as he puts the ball mid. Follow up. This is going to be a double commit from Smoking Guns. And Tricky will send the ball down the field. Tricky looking to try and solidify himself as the best player here in the Academy League. Pops the ball over 1. Ends up getting sent back to Predude. Predude down the middle to Rebel. Rebel can't get to the touch, and Zay sends the ball flying down the pitch. Off the backboard, follow-up from Zay. And the striker, we haven't really seen him all night so far. But Zay finally puts in a great shot and brings the game back to a tie. Brings the game back in Smoking Guns' favor. Havoc Pink now down by 1 once more. They were able to tie it up multiple times this series so far. They even tied up the series and are looking to try and win the series now. They ended up winning that last game at 0 seconds. They won that last game. And now they're going to be looking to try and see if they can repeat their successes. Ball back to Predude. Predude off the sidewall will be followed up here, and the ball flies through the air to Rebel. Rebel now down to Tricky, and Tricky will get the beat on 1, but can he get the pass mid? Ends up having to 50 Zay, and Zay will be looking for his counterattack down the pitch. But if there's anyone who could stop that counterattack, it would be Rebel, but he ends up giving it right to Kilo. Luckily for Rebel, Predude is just the best player on planet Earth as he gets the beat and the dunk. Look at that Predude. He was patient. He read the read. And then all he has to do is 50 that ball. But instead, he dunks the ball completely over Mr. Chair, bringing it back to a tied game. And with 3.5 minutes left on the clock, Havoc Pink looking to try and take this game. They are still tied. But right now, all momentum's got to be in Havoc Pink's favor. Mr. Chair has to avoid Kilo, but he does take possession. Tries to get the ball around one. Be setting up Kilo. Kilo trying to maintain possession, getting the ball around one, setting up his teammate, and Predude will end up pinching that ball out to the sidewall. Now back over to Mr. Chair, but he gets beat. It's Smoking Guns still looking for a way to try and not only get the lead, but try to maintain it. Ball to Rebel. Rebel tries to maintain possession here. He gets the beat on one. Can he get the beat on two? No, not able to do so. The Tricky, trying to maintain possession. Gets the ball on manages to leave the ball for Rebel to get it on target, but Rebel, after a poor hit from Smoking Guns, will get Tricky the goal. And look at this. Rebel, he just puts the ball here, and Kilo just gives the ball away to Tricky. And Smoking Guns are now down by 1 goal in a game they need to win. And everybody, just a special note, Havoc Orange actually have not only managed to win game 1, but are still tied in game number 4. So Havoc Orange looking solid at this moment in time. Hopefully they can keep this form up. But it looks like that's going to be another goal on the board for Havoc Pink. And Havoc Pink, they're looking to not only do what they did last split, they're looking to do it even better. They're looking, instead of a game 5 win, they're looking to get it in 4. 2-goal lead with 2 minutes left, and here comes a kickoff opportunity for Havoc Pink. Lots of demos off the kickoff, and it will be popped over now to Kilo. Kilo now back over to himself, puts the ball to the Mr. Chair. There we go, ball off the crossbar, follow it up. He's not gonna be able to get the touch though, and Rebel, we're looking for the follow up here. Rebel gets the beat on one, looking for the follow up. That's going to be a miss from Zay. Zay, his striking is normally so on, but on that miss right there, you have to wonder if the series is already over, but it's not over yet. We all know that it's possible for them to come back. Tricky looking for a negative angle double tap, but he's not able to find it. We'll be back over now to Predude. Predude ends up getting beat out by Zay, and Zay will leave it for Kilo. Kilo getting the ball over everybody, looking for the pinch out mid. Back to Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair can't get the beat. Rebel looking for the shot. That ball finds itself off the crossbar, and they can't find the save. Rebel with the goal. And Smoking Guns now down by 3 in what could be their final game of the league play. What is happening, folks? Back out to the kickoff. Predude gets a beat on one. Looking to set up Rebel. Rebel to Tricky. Tricky down the middle to Rebel. And the pass does not work out. And Mr. Chair sends the ball down the pitch. Mr. Chair looking for the follow-up. Ends up getting the beat on one, but can't get it past 2. And now over to Zay, who ends up getting beat up by Predude. Out to the side wall comes Kilo. Kilo ends up getting possession here, but a teammate on the back line getting demoed has to rely on to play a little safer. Shot on target here from Tricky, and I think Tricky, this series has solidified himself as probably one of the best, if not the best, players in the Academy League. Look at that. Tricky shoots the ball, gets it on target, and nobody on Smoking Guns can get the save. 40 seconds to go. But it looks like the series is all but over. I've seen 4 goals in 40 seconds before. But the mentality of the team that ended up winning was far different than that of Smoking Guns. Ball back to Rebel. He ends up getting beat. It'll be sent over to Kilo now. Kilo sends the ball down the pitch. Ball looking to be on target here, and Zay misses, setting up Kilo. Kilo fakes it for Mr. Chair. That's off the backboard, and a follow-up from Kilo will not find its way in the back of the net. And once again, folks, just Smoking Guns can't find the back of the net against the top team in Academy. Ball off to the ceiling. Followed up by Predude. Predude can't get the touch. And we followed up here now by Zay. Zay to Tricky now. And it looks like we're seeing some of the players go AFK. Game number 4 goes to Havoc Pink. And ladies and gentlemen, that was the last series ever for Season 7 in the league play. Oh my goodness, folks. And it looks like right now we are seeing Havoc White winning 3-1 against Havoc Orange, and it looks like they're about to win in 3-1 fashion on their series. So that means we are able to now tell you guys who is what seed and how this bracket's going to go next week. All right. So it looks like Smoking Guns are going to end up their season 5-2 with a 7 game differential. Havoc Teal are going to be going through 6-1 with a 13 game differential. Havoc Pink are now also 6-1 with a positive 9 game differential. Havoc White looking to go 3-4 with a -1 game differential. Cypher Black 2-5 with a -8. Slothhounds 3-4 with a 0 game differential. Havoc Orange now going to be 1-6 with a -13 game differential. And Havoc Purple with a 2-5 game differential. So I'm going to sort these out really quick here for everybody. And it looks like Havoc Teal will be the first seed going into the bracket. They'll be seed 1. Havoc Pink will be seed 2 going into the bracket with a 6-1 differential, with a 6-1 series differential, and -4 game differential compared to Havoc Teal. Smoking Guns end up going 5-2 with a 7 game differential. Then next, we have Slothhounds reclaiming their title as top 4 in seeding with a 3-4 and 0 game differential. Havoc White going 3-4 with a -1 game differential. And then, tied for 6th, we have Cypher Black and Havoc Purple. And what a series that will be. So we'll be having a tiebreaker, most likely on Thursday next week, ladies and gentlemen. That will be to determine who between Havoc Purple and Cypher Black will make the Split 2 playoffs. Now, if Havoc Purple make the Split 2 playoffs, they can potentially make the Academy playoffs. Whereas Cypher Black, even if they don't make the Split 2 playoffs, since they got top 4 last time, they're still in a really good spot to make the Academy playoffs at the end of the season. But ladies and gentlemen, that is it for tonight. There is nothing tomorrow or Sunday. That is all we have for Havoc this week. But Monday, we'll be doing a free coaching stream. So make sure everybody to stay tuned on 8 p.m. EST. If you want free coaching from an RLCS coach, make sure to join here on stream at 8 p.m. EST this Monday. Excuse me. Be sure to tune in. But that's it for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a pleasure to commentate for you all tonight. I apologize. I ended up having to wake up at 8 in the morning to coach this morning, so I apologize if you guys could tell that I was tired. But it was still a pleasure, nevertheless, to commentate for you all. And a big congratulations to Havoc Pink for managing to get the win. And they do so in a brilliant fashion as well. But everybody, that's it from the mainstream for tonight. Hope you guys all have a great rest of your night. This is HVC Luke here, signing out. Have a great rest of your weekend. Peace.